Chapter 4. On his way to school on Monday morning, Tom Sawyer stopped to talk to Huckleberry Finn, the son of the town drunkard. The boy was hated by all the mothers of the town because he was vulgar and bad. They feared he would be bad influence on their children. All the children admired him and wished to be like him. Tom was like the rest of the good boys, in that he wanted to be free as Huckleberry. Aunt Polly ordered not to play with him, so he played with him every time he got a chance. Huckleberry was always dressed in rags. His hat was very old. When he wore a coat, it hung nearly to his feet, and the trousers were too long for him and covered in dirt. Huckleberry came and went at his own free will. He slept on doorsteps. He did not have to go to school or to church. He could go fishing or swimming when and where he liked. He never had to wash and put on clean clothes. He could swear wonderfully. In a word, everything that goes to make life wonderful, that boy had. So thought every respectable boy in St. Petersburg. Tom said, "Hello, Huckleberry." "Hello? See how you like it?" "What's that you have there?" "A dead cat." "Let me see him, Huck. What are you going to do with it?" "Cure warts." "Is that so? How do you cure them with dead cats?" "Well, you take your cat and go to the graveyard at night where somebody bad was buried. At midnight, the devil will come, but of course you won't see him, and when he's taking that man away, you say, 'Devil follows the dead man, cat follows the devil, warts follow the cat,' and that will take any wart off you. Sounds right? Have you ever tried it, Huck?" "No, but Mother Hopkins told me." "Well, I think it's so then. When are you going to try the cat?" "Tonight. I think the devil will come after old Williams tonight." "But they buried him on Saturday. Didn't they get him on Saturday night?" "Why, how could the devils work till midnight? And then it was Sunday. Devils don't work on Sunday, do they?" "I never thought of that. That's right. Let me go with you, of course, if you are not afraid." "Afraid? Not at all." "Well, all right. I'll see you later. I'm late for school." When Tom came into the classroom, he was half an hour late. The teacher called him as soon as he saw him. "Thomas Sawyer, why are you late again as usual?" Tom was going to tell a lie when he saw the girl with long yellow plaits and an open seat next to her, and he changed his mind. He said, "I stopped to talk with Huckleberry Finn." The teacher looked at Tom surprised. Everybody in the classroom wondered if this brave boy had lost his mind. The teacher said, You did what?" "Stopped to talk with Huckleberry Finn." "Thomas Sawyer, this is the most unusual confession I have ever heard. Take off your jacket and prepare for the punishment." The teacher whipped Tom and said, "Now go and sit with the girls, and let this be a lesson to you." Tom sat down next to the girl with yellow hair, put down his arms on the long, low desk before him, and began to study his book. A few minutes later, the boy looked at the girl. She saw it and turned away. When she looked at him again, a peach lay before her. She pushed it away. Tom put it back. She pushed it away again, but she was clearly not angry with him. Tom returned the peach to its place. Then she let it remain. Tom wrote on his slate, "Please, take it. I've got more." The girl saw the words but said nothing. Now the boy began to draw something on the slate, hiding his work with his left hand. The girl was interested. At last she said, "Let me see it." Tom showed her a picture of a house. The girl looked at it and then whispered, "It's nice. Make a man." The artist drew a man who looked like a monster. But the girl was not too critical. She said, "It's so nice. I can't draw." "It's easy," whispered Tom. "I'll teach you." "Oh, will you? When?" "At noon. Do you go home to dinner?" "I'll stay if you will." "All right. What's your name?" "Becky Thatcher. What's yours?" "Oh, I know. It's Thomas Sawyer." "I'm Tom when I'm good. You'll call me Tom, will you?" "Yes." Tom began to write something on the slate, hiding the words from the girl. She asked him to see. Tom said, "Oh, it's nothing." "Yes, it is." "No, it's not. You don't want to see." "Yes, I do. Indeed I do. Please let me." "You won't tell anybody at all, as long as you live?" "No, I shall not tell anybody. Now let me." Becky started to pull the slate. Tom pretended to stop her, but he didn't really, and soon Becky read, "I love you." "Oh, you bad thing!" But she was not at all angry. At this moment the teacher seized Tom by the ear and dragged him back to the boys' side of the room. Although his ear was red, he was very happy. At noon, Tom came up to Becky Thatcher and whispered in her ear, "Get to the corner and then come back to school the other way. I'll do the same." So they left school with two different groups of children, and some minutes later they returned to school and had it all to themselves. They sat together with a slate before them, and Tom gave Becky the pencil and held her hand in his, guiding it, and so he drew another surprising house. When the two lost interest in art, they started talking. Tom was swimming in happiness. He said, "Say, Becky, have you ever been engaged?" "What's that?" "Why, engaged to be married." "No." "Would you like to?" "I don't know. What is it like?" "Well, you just tell a boy you won't ever have anybody but him, ever, 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 and then you kiss and that's all. Anybody can do it." "Kiss? What do you kiss for?" "Why, that, is to, well, they always do that." "Everybody?" "Yes, everybody that's in love with each other. Do you remember what I wrote on the slate?" "Yes." "What was it?" "I can't tell you." "Shall I tell you?" "Yes, but some other time." "No, now, please, Becky, I'll whisper it." Tom passed his arm around her waist and whispered the words, with his mouth close to her ear. And then he added, "Now you whisper it to me, just the same." She said, "You turn your face away so you can't see, and then I will. But you mustn't ever tell anybody. Will you, Tom?" "No, I won't. Now, Becky." He turned his face away. She bent to him and whispered, "I love you." Then she ran away from Tom to the corner of the room, covering her face with her hands. He came up to her and said, "Now, Becky, it's all done, all over but the kiss. Don't be afraid of that. Please, Becky." He pulled at her hands. She let them drop. Tom kissed the red lips and said, "Now you'll never love anybody but me, will you?" "No, I'll never love anybody but you, Tom. And I'll never marry anybody but you. And you'll never love and marry anybody but me either." "Of course, that's part of it. You walk with me when there isn't anybody looking. You choose me and I choose you at parties, because that's the way you do when you're engaged." "It's so nice. I've never heard of it before." "Oh, it's such fun. Why, me and Amy Lawrence..." The big eyes told Tom about his mistake, and he stopped. "Oh, Tom, then I'm not the first you've been engaged to." The child began to cry. Tom said, "Oh, don't cry, Becky. I don't love her any more." "Yes, you do, Tom. You know you do." Tom tried to put his arm around her neck, but she pushed him away and turned her face to the wall and went on crying. Tom tried again, but he was pushed away again. He walked away and outside. He stood there looking at the door, hoping that she would come to find him, but she did not. Then he began to feel terrible. He went back inside. Becky was still standing back there in the corner, sobbing with her face to the wall. Tom went to her and stood there for a moment, not knowing exactly what to do next. Then he said, "Becky, I don't love anybody but you." No reply, but sobs. "Becky, won't you say something?" More sobs. Tom got out his main treasure, a brass doorknob, and passed it around her so that she could see it, and said, "Please, Becky, won't you take it?" She struck it to the floor. Then Tom went out of the house and over the hills and far away, and he did not return to school that day. Some minutes later, Becky began to suspect something. She ran to the door. He was not in the schoolyard. Then she called, "Tom! Come back, Tom!" She listened, but there was no answer. So she sat down to cry again until the other children began to gather again.